A lot of the viewers aren't going to like what I have to say about this topic. Yeah, you know who you are. You're probably going to think that I'm going to tell you to throw out your phone. Don't worry, I'm not going to say that. But in all seriousness, you need to hear this. Your phone is absolutely destroying your motivation, your energy levels, and your ability to focus. And once you understand that, it will completely change how you view life with your phone. Let me explain. Every time you pick up your phone and tap the screen, your brain gets hit with a rush of dopamine. Or even when you have the thought of going for your phone, the same thing happens. And that's why it's so hard to resist the urge of going for your phone. But what is dopamine? We keep hearing this word all the time: dopamine, dopamine detox, reward pathway. But what is it, and what's its actual responsibility in your body? Without getting too much into the science of it or making it sound complicated, dopamine acts as a neurotransmitter in your brain. It's basically a chemical that gets released in your brain in response to something pleasurable in your environment. Basic human examples of this are eating, engaging in sexual activity, or basically anything that makes us feel pleasurable or feels good to us. In this example, going on your phone. Now, why is this important? Dopamine plays a huge role in our motivation and energy levels. We said every time that our brain releases dopamine, it feels really good. But not only that, we feel more motivation to go and do that action that led to it feeling so good. And over time, we crave that action or stimulus over and over and over again. So, in the example of our phones, every time we go and pick up our phone, it releases dopamine and it makes us feel good. And over time, mindlessly, without even realizing, we keep going to our phones over and over and over again to make ourselves feel good or make our brains feel good. Now, here's where the problem is. When we are trying to do work throughout the day, whether that's studying, school related work, career related work, most of the time it's not as exciting as some of those other fun activities. And so we're not getting the same influx of dopamine in our brain as we do when we're, for example, going on our phone. And so we don't feel the motivation to want to go and do that work as opposed to something else that's more fun for us. And so what happens is we try to sit down, relax, and get some actual work done. And then there's our brains constantly telling us and giving us that urge to go and pick up our phones or go and, get up and go do something else that's more fun for us. And this naturally messes with your ability to focus and actually get some work done. You might be watching this and thinking, well, no, that's not me. The problem is, a lot of these things are actually acting at a subconscious level because we've been so used to it over time. Just do a little check. Our smartphones now have a setting built into the screen time setting where you can actually check how many times you picked up your phone throughout the day. Pause this video and go do a little check. There's a good chance that it's somewhere over the 100 mark. And so that means without you even realizing, you're picking up your phone around 100 times throughout the day. And when we ask ourselves consciously, am I really doing that? You'd be surprised. Basically, in layman's terms, we need to reduce the amount of dopamine our brain is releasing through external factors that aren't beneficial to us. In this case, our phones. Our brains aren't meant to be stimulated so often as 100 times or more throughout the day. We need to help it work on the gradual release of dopamine to help manage some of those motivation and energy levels. There are tons and tons of strategies I've implemented in my own life and help my clients implement in their lives that help rebuild some of that energy, motivation, and ability to focus throughout the day. I'm going to share two of them with you. Don't have your phone be the first thing you look at when you wake up in the morning, and don't allow it to be the last thing you look at when you go to sleep at night, especially in the morning. We don't want that big influx of dopamine first thing in the morning because it's going to make it that much harder for you to get up and start your day. Think about it. We would all much rather just lie in bed and scroll through our phones mindlessly on social media or videos or whatever it is that we would rather do than have to get up and go to work or go to school or do something else that in the moment it doesn't seem like it's going to be as much fun. So here's what you do. At night when you go to sleep, leave your phone outside of your bedroom. Try to read a book or practice some mindfulness or meditation before going to bed. Honestly, do whatever you need to do to help you fall asleep that isn't go on your phone or go on your laptop. And in the morning, when you wake up, you're going to need an alarm, obviously. I'm sure most of us use our phones. Just invest a small amount in an alarm clock that will help you wake up in the morning, and then you don't need to use your phone and have that excuse to go on your phone again. Remember, It's not going to be easy. It's going to be really hard. But again, if life were easy, everyone would be successful. When you're trying to focus for an hour or 2 hours to try to get some work done, whether that's studying or getting a work project done, try to put your phone in another room or just put it somewhere where it's physically difficult for you to go and grab your phone. You might think that you can do it, right? You leave it beside you and you can have the willpower to say no. Let's be honest, you don't. And it's not your fault. It's an addiction to our brain, and it's really hard to say no if it's physically right beside you. So just don't give yourself that ability. Put it in another room, hide it somewhere, or have someone else put it somewhere that's going to make it physically difficult for you to have to go up and go and get it. And then just notice. Notice subconsciously how many times you try to reach for your phone and then you realize it's not there, right? It's not our faults. That's just our brain subconsciously being used to it and going for it mindlessly over and over again. But just notice and see how much of a difference it might actually make if you don't go on it. The other problem is, yeah, you can go on it and you waste time scrolling on your phone as opposed to doing the work at hand. But the problem is that big influx of dopamine and that frequent influx of dopamine you're getting every time you go on it actually makes it even more difficult for you to get back to work and even feel the motivation to want to go and do that work, right? We'd all much rather go on our phones or do something else that's fun, but we all have work that we need to do. And so every time you pick it up, it makes it that much more difficult to even get back to working in the first place. Don't feel like you need to implement both of these strategies. Just pick one that you feel like is doable and that you can focus your energy, willpower, and resilience on executing that strategy for at least 2 weeks. That's the minimum it's going to take for you to see a change. Think about how long you've had these habits for. Lying down in bed, going on your phone, having it beside you when you're trying to get some work done and getting distracted by it. It's going to take at least 2 weeks. And again, that's the minimum. Everyone is different. Remember the small step solution? Don't feel like you need to throw your phone away. That's not realistic. It's about focusing on one small thing that you will consistently execute over the days, over the weeks, over the months. And once you've been successful executing that one strategy, you can move on to another one, right? It's about working on it day by day by day and having those strategies compound over time. Try these. Try one, and when you've gotten good with it, see if you can add the other and just see how your motivation, energy, and ability to focus throughout the day completely changes. Having said that, everyone is different. Certain strategies work for some people, but not others. How you implement those strategies or the pace at which you implement those strategies could also be different. Don't try to compare yourself to other people. Focus on your goals and the pace at which you work. Focus on how your own mind and body react. This is why having a coach can be so life changing. It's not about just having the knowledge, it's how can you purposefully implement that knowledge into your life that helps you make it a lifelong habit. If you're someone who has been struggling with motivation, energy, and focus and just feel burnt out from life, book a free clarity call with me and I can help you work through some of those challenges and see how we can find a practical way to help overcome it. If you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and looking forward to seeing you again in the future videos. Thanks a lot.